The D.O.C. was feeling good. It was November 1989, and he was driving his brand new sports car. Going west on the Ventura Freeway towards his Calabasas home, the night air was crisp and cool. Just the day before, the promising MC with a bright future finished shooting a video for his newly released debut album, a record that would eventually sell more than 1 million copies. Tonight, he's celebrating and just partied with some girls. And then, boom. If anyone mentions West Coast rap legends, you know the cast of characters. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Pac. Everyone has their Mount Rushmore of hip-hop, and chances are one of those guys is set in stone. But hold up, there is one name that doesn't always get his flowers. I'm talking about the D.O.C. Born Tracy Lynn Curry on June 10, 1968 in Dallas, Texas, this guy was a straight-up architect of the genre. His debut album, No One Can Do It Better, is a certified classic. But just as he was about to blow up, tragedy hit. A car accident in 1989 left him with permanent vocal damage. Game over, right? Wrong. Fast forward to today, and thanks to AI, the D.O.C. is making a comeback that's straight out of a sci-fi movie. Yeah, you heard me all right. AI is bringing his voice back. This isn't just a comeback, it's a resurrection. In today's video, we're diving deep into the D.O.C.'s life, his rise to stardom, and the accident that changed everything. How exactly is he using AI to reclaim his voice, you ask? We will get into that in detail. This is a story about resilience and innovation, proving that no matter what life throws at you, you can still come out on top. So grab your snacks, your beverage of choice, and let's get into it. Drop it on the one, the beginning. Alright, let's rewind to the mid-1980s. Hip-hop was evolving fast, and the D.O.C. was right in the mix. A teenage Tracy Curry had that fire in him and was a member of the C.R.U.S.H crew, but his hometown of Dallas wasn't exactly the rap capital of the world, at least not yet. So he packed his bags and headed west to Los Angeles. LA was the place to be if you were about that rap life. Once he hit the City of Angels, the D.O.C. didn't waste any time. In 1987, he linked up with Dr. Dre, and the C.R.U.S.H crew had 4 songs on N.W.A. and the Posse. Dre was already making waves with N.W.A. When he heard the D.O.C. spit, he was like, yo, this dude is different. Their chemistry was instant, and together, they started cooking up something special. The C.R.U.S.H crew was a remnant of wannabe New York hip-hop, and that wasn't hot anymore, so they disbanded. The D.O.C. was already 2 steps ahead anyway. In 1989, the D.O.C. dropped his debut album, No One Can Do It Better. This album was a game changer. Tracks like It's Funky Enough and the D.O.C. and the Doctor were straight fire. The way he blended a funk cadence, gangsta flows, and Jamaican toasting was like Rakim meets Dennis Al Capone. The D.O.C. invented a whole new flavor of hip-hop because no one heard a collaboration of styles quite like this before. His flow was sharp, his storytelling next level, and his braggadocious rhymes were unmatched. He was crafting anthems. If you walked up to a hip-hop head and said, 1, and here comes the 2 to the 3 and 4, they will finish those bars, guaranteed. The tragic accident, when the music stopped. But just as the D.O.C. was hitting a stride, life threw him a curveball. In 1989, he was involved in a near-fatal car accident. He admitted to being under the influence. What a lot of people don't know is that he was actually pulled over by the cops before the accident. While cruising around Beverly Hills on his way to the 101 freeway, he ran a red light, lights and sirens. Amazingly, the cops let him go. D.O.C. turned on his charm, joked around with them, and once they recognized him as an N.W.A. affiliate, they took pictures with him. To this day, D.O.C. wonders how different his life would be if those cops took him to jail. But fate shuffled the cards, and we play. The crash was brutal. He fell asleep at the wheel and hit the center divider. He was thrown out the back window of the car and hit a tree with his face. D.O.C. is lucky to be alive. He had severe injuries. He underwent 21 hours of plastic surgery and was laid up in the hospital for 2.5 weeks. The final blow was permanent vocal damage. It was not lost on the D.O.C. that this felt like karma, or God saying to watch his step. His voice, the very thing that made him a star, was gone. Poof, just like that. Imagine being at the top of your game, about to take over the world, and then it's all taken away from you. The D.O.C. was devastated. Rapping is all about the voice, the tone, the flow, the delivery. It's your instrument, your identity. And now, his was gone. It was a punch to the gut, not just for him, but for the hip-hop community. Fans were crushed. The industry was shook. The D.O.C. was left wondering, what now? But Tracy Curry is not the type to just throw in the towel. Yeah, his voice was gone, but his spirit was indomitable. This isn't where the story ends. Not even close. Life after the accident. A player behind the scenes. Even though the D.O.C couldn't rap like he used to, he wasn't about to leave the game. Instead, he became a behind-the-scenes powerhouse, laying in the cut. He kept writing, contributing to Dr. Dre's The Chronic and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. For The Chronic, he co-wrote some of the biggest tracks, including Nothing But a G-Thang, Little Ghetto Boy, Lyrical Gangbang, and others. Even if you weren't aware of his ghostwriting, you could feel D.O.C's technical skills in those tracks. His pen was still as sharp as ever, and his influence was everywhere. He helped shape the sound of G-Funk, that laid-back, West Coast flavor that was bumping out of every lowrider and truck from Barstow to Boston. In 1996, he dropped his solo album, Helter Skelter. It was a solid project, but let's be real, it just wasn't the same. You could hear the struggle in his voice, the frustration of not being able to deliver like he used to. It was like watching a basketball player drain threes with a sprained ankle. Impressive, sure, but you could tell something was off. But even then, he never gave up. The man tried everything: vocal therapy, voice modification, you name it. If there was a chance it could bring him closer to the mic, he was all in. He was like, I didn't come this far to only come this far. And that's what makes the D.O.C such a legend. It's not just about the music, it's about the grind, the hustle, the refusal to quit. Even when the odds were stacked against him, he kept pushing. Before we continue with the D.O.C's incredible journey and AI album, make sure to like and subscribe. Does the D.O.C rank in your top 10 greatest MCs? Top 5? Who is your Mount Rushmore of dopest rappers? Drop those comments. The AI comeback, reclaiming his voice. Now this is wild. In the past few years, the D.O.C has been working with a team of engineers and artists to use AI to recreate his original voice. Artificial intelligence will use voice samples from his old recordings and set learning algorithms to bring his voice back to life. It's like something out of Black Mirror, but it's real. This AI-driven album isn't just a gimmick, it's a triumph. It is a divisive topic, though. Crush Unit has a friend who is like an encyclopedia of hip-hop, and he's not feeling it. The discussion got heated, to say the least. It's the D.O.C reclaiming his voice, his sound, and his legacy. What's not to like? But we get it. It's sparking some serious debates about the role of AI in music. But for the D.O.C, this is about more than just technology. It's about continuing where he started, a second chance. And let's not forget he lives in Atlanta. Can you imagine a D.O.C track produced by Mike Will Made It? Or if he got Jermaine Dupri back in the studio? Oh, what you think? So Def only does R&B records? You might want to check JD's beats on Daz Dillinger's So Gangsta album. The D.O.C's legacy. Before we get too deep into the AI stuff, let's take a second to appreciate the D.O.C's legacy as a songwriter. The man didn't just write rhymes, he wrote history. His work on The Chronic and Snoop's Doggy Style and Blue Carpet Treatment helped define an era. His lyrics were raw, real, and relatable. He had this way of capturing the essence of life on the West Coast. The struggles, the hustle, the vibe. And his hooks were so catchy they'd get stuck in your head for decades. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, and even Anderson .Paak have all been shaped by his work. The D.O.C doesn't just make music. His pen is so dangerous it should have a child safety lock. Lasting influence. The D.O.C's influence has trickled down to modern hip-hop. When we talk about the West Coast sound, we're talking about a vibe that's laid back yet hard-hitting, smooth yet gritty. And a lot of that started with the D.O.C. Name another LA MC back in '89, mixing gangsta rap with raga. I'll wait. So, while he might not be always in the spotlight, his footprint is all over hip-hop. Fun fact, he also wrote the lyrics for Dre's first solo track, Deep Cover. Now with this AI-assisted album, he's not just reclaiming his voice, he's reminding us why he's a legend in the first place. The future. Is there a D.O.C in the house? So what's next for the D.O.C? He was probably wondering the same thing, until Fab Five Freddy came calling. Yes, that Fab Five Freddy, the hip-hop historian and absolute icon. He was the one who introduced the idea to the D.O.C. Then an AI company called Suno got on board. Check out this clip of the owner of Suno talking about the project.
The voice that he has in his head that he's not been able to get out there for the last 35 years, I can think of no better use of this technology.
Dude sounds excited as fuck. This project is a testament to the power of resilience and innovation. It's proof that no matter what life throws at you, you can still find a way to keep going.
Let's do that.
Despite the tragic accident that stole his voice, the D.O.C has never stopped pushing boundaries. This project is more than just an album. It's a symbol of defiance against fate, showing the world that even in the face of life-altering events, creativity can thrive and transform. The use of AI in this album allows the D.O.C to harness his previous vocal recordings and integrate them with new technologies that can simulate his unique voice, allowing him to reconnect with his past while also pushing forward into a new era. This is a groundbreaking moment. The entire music industry is waiting with bated breath. But let's be real, this move is very controversial. What if Tupac's estate signed off on AI using his voice on songs and remixes? We've all heard that new Biggie track. This might unleash a monster. What's next? A new Nirvana album with AI Kurt? A new symphony by Robot Mozart? The bonus track. One thing's for sure, the D.O.C. isn't just a legend of the past. He's a pioneer of the future. His story reminds us that the human spirit is indomitable, and with innovation and courage, anything is possible. Tracy Curry may have lost his voice once, but with the help of AI,
using AI technology,
he's found a way to reclaim it, and he's doing so in a way that no one could have imagined. Stay locked in, because the D.O.C. story is far from over, and his comeback is sure to be a groundbreaking moment in the world of hip-hop. Audi 5000. We'll leave you with a little quiz. The D.O.C. has gone on record saying this rapper is the top dog in his book. Can you guess who it is? Hint, he came after the D.O.C. Bet you don't get it. Comment and try. What do you think about AI's role in the future of music? Are you hyped to hear the D.O.C. rap like it's that hot summer of 1989 again? Let us know your thoughts. Thank you for riding with us. Peace.